Hi, it's Richard here from Qualidus Humulus Media, home of the Three Men and a Movie podcast. And today I'm going to take you through A to C of my complete Blu-ray DVD collection, which is just here to the right of me. As you can see behind me is the rest of my collection, and I'm going to be going through these in probably 15-minute max videos, maybe slightly longer, because I don't want you sat there all day watching me. So I'm going to post probably one or two of these a day for you to catch up on my entire collection. I'll say A to C today. This will include a few box sets. I do have another shelf full of other box sets, but there are a few box sets here. In charge of the camera is my teenage son Ryan, so if you hear any giggling at my obvious puerile efforts at humour, that will be where it is coming from. Okay, so we start with A, obviously. This is the Alien Anthology on Blu-ray. It's the first 4 films with director's cuts. I don't think you need me to tell you much about these films. Aliens, the sequel, is joint first in my favourite films of all time. My other joint first is Die Hard, which is in a box set, which I'll be showing you in the future. Second is Alien Covenant, the latest in the franchise. Much maligned, I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, if we're being really honest, it doesn't hold a candle to probably the first 2 films, but still very enjoyable. The Alien vs Predator box set. I don't think you can really call this one a box set. It's one Blu-ray case, but it does contain both extended editions if you want more of them, of AVP and AVP Requiem. I mean, you can sit with these films with a bag of popcorn and enjoy them, but they're not gonna win any awards, let's be honest. Next we have Avatar. This is the extended collector's edition, so if you want more of it, you've got nearly 3 hours here. This is the DVD. I'm not one of these people who always has to upgrade to Blu-ray. You know, this is good enough for me, especially with the film like Avatar, which I do enjoy, but it isn't one of my favourites. Lovely slip on that, lovely matte finish to that. All the Boys Love Mandy Lane. You might not have heard of this one, it's not incredibly well known. And please ignore the quote on the front which says the OC meets Friday the 13th. I wouldn't watch it if that was what it was. This is a really clever little slasher film starring Amber Heard in one of her first main roles. Really good in this one. American Psycho. No need to go and waffle on about that. I think you all have heard of that. Christian Bale, incredible film. Ant-Man, the first in the Marvel series I have, in the alphabetical order. Lovely, gorgeous slip on this. They did these quite recently, I believe, around the time Infinity War came out. I haven't got them all in with this slip. It'd be lovely if I did, but I haven't. But yeah, I love this film. I mean, I haven't got the sequel as of yet. I thought the original was actually quite a bit better than the sequel. Okay, Mel Gibson's Apocalypto, again on DVD. This one, you may not have seen this one. It's a great little, well, not it's great little, great large action film. It's really good, massive scale to this one. It's really good, but not for people who are squeamish. Avengers Assemble, no introduction required, on DVD. Yes. People, I'm sure there will be those people who can't cope with me having the primary film Avengers Assemble and the sequel on Blu-ray. You're just going to have to live with that. Okay, this is Avengers Age of Ultron, the second one. Again, not loved as much as the first. I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, there's nothing to really hate there, is there? Avengers Infinity War in Blu-ray, still in its sealed cellophane. That's because I've watched the digital copy that came with this. I'm yet to watch the actual Blu-ray. Incredible, amazing film. Can't wait for the sequel in a couple of months. The Babadook. A lesser known film, one could say, but a great little Australian horror film. And I think watch this more than once. You really have to get the meaning of it. It's fantastic. Scary, but also deeply emotionally satisfying. The Back to the Future Blu-ray trilogy. Again, think you all have heard of that one. Here's a controversial choice. Not the fact that it's Batman vs Superman, but the fact it's got two films in it, one which definitely isn't an A or a B or a C. It's Man of Steel, but it came in the same collection. I think it's £15 for the Ultimate Edition of Batman vs Superman, and Man of Steel came with it, like an added bonus. And I didn't have Man of Steel at the time, so that was great. I will say I love Batman and Superman in the cinema, but when I watched the Ultimate Edition, I adored it. You just have to live with Zack Snyder's vision of these two characters and go with it and stop worrying about what the comics are. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a massive comic fan as well, but I love his vision of the DC universe. And I love all the DC films. Maybe that says more about me than anyone else, but I love this film. I do have the rest of the Batman films in my box sets, which are on another shelf, which I will be going through in another video, but anyway, just in case you're wondering why hasn't he got the other Batman films. Black Swan. I saw this one in a morning at the Kinnaman Awards. A bit of a strange choice for a morning viewing. What a fantastic film nonetheless. Black Christmas, the remake, complete garbage. Don't watch that one, if you can help it. Blade. And you'll notice a little sticker on you there, $11.99 from Andy's Records. That ages it quite a bit. And that was one of the first DVDs I ever bought. Andy's Records went out of business quite a long time ago, unfortunately. Okay, the visionary director Guillermo del Toro presents Blade. What a film. Blade 2, sorry. I mean, visually this film is stunning, but if you look at the story, it doesn't make much sense. Doesn't matter. Looks gorgeous. He's gorgeous. Watch it. And you know what's coming next, unfortunately. Blade Trinity. The garbage sequel. Starring Triple H. Yes. I mean, I suppose it's enjoyable for what it is. This is the extended version. So you get another 10 minutes of averageness. So it's a shame, isn't it? Okay, so Blade Trinity. Next, Blade Runner. This is the final cut. I think it's just one version of the film this includes. Yeah, there is like 12 or something out there, I'm sure. Someone will tell me in the comments below. But I believe this is the one that most fans regard as the finest of all the cuts of Blade Runner. I mean, it's a masterpiece, isn't it? I think it's a kind of film you have to be in the mood to watch, because it is quite a slow burner, but it's fantastic. Next we have the sequel, Blade Runner 2049, a film I've still not watched because it's about 3 hours and I just haven't found the time, but I know I don't think I'm going to be disappointed by that. And look, before you get that slip on there, that is amazing. Okay, Blair Witch Project, one of the first found footage films, and still holds up for me today. I still think that's a very scary film. And this is one that, spoiler alert, well, if it's up to me anyway, spoiler alert, we will be covering in a 3 Men and a Movie podcast in the future. This is Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows. Special edition, wow. It's got 2 DVDs. This is the sequel that everyone hated, I think. I mean, basically the studio messed with it and made it not half the film it could have been. I mean, I still find it enjoyable, but don't go into it expecting a sequel to The Blair Witch, and I think you'll enjoy it, despite it being called Blair Witch 2, of course. I believe I picked that up for 50p. It's worth about half that. Okay, Blair Witch, the newest one, which was, I don't know, it was a kind of sequel / reimagining. I thought it was really good, and what I do enjoy is the red case. I picked that up from Poundland. They always have some great Blu-rays in there. Blood Rage, yes! The first of my Arrow videos. I got into this thanks to a couple of YouTubers I watch. Arrow video, and I mean, this is... I'm not going to call this a great film, because it isn't, but it's so enjoyable to watch. And what I love about Arrow, I'm not going to go into all the ins and outs of the collection. It's got a reversible sleeve. It's got 2 discs full of great content. Yeah, Blood Rage, 80s slasher. Probably not heard of it. Borderlands, coming up soon on the podcast. I think we're recording it tomorrow night as this goes out. A found footage English film, and the last 10 minutes I can't watch. It's that frightening. If you like being disturbed, get Borderlands on your radar. Okay, box set of The Bourne Supremacy and The Bourne Identity. And that, of course, is followed by The Bourne Ultimatum and then the latest one, Jason Bourne. So you will notice I don't have The Bourne Legacy because The Bourne Legacy was rubbish. You will say, well, Richard, you do have other rubbish films, so why haven't you got that one? I don't think there's any need for The Bourne Legacy. Okay, next. Buried. Watched this one quite recently. Harrowing is the word. Especially if you're a claustrophobic individual, don't watch this. You're not going to get through it. Wow, what a fantastic film. Don't think Ryan Reynolds just does comedy. He's fantastic in this. Oh. The Burning, one of my favourite 80s slashers. And again, this is an Arrow release, which is fully uncut. I remember watching this on a Vipco release, I believe it was, and the most harrowing, most famous scene in it, when they get themselves cropped to death in a boat, was cropped to death by Vipco and led to no gore at all. So I waited 80 minutes for nothing, basically. But this is the full release from Arrow, and it's a great film. The Business, starring Danny Dyer. Yes, it's Danny Dyer. Well, I enjoy this film. It's from the director of The Football Factory, and I love The Football Factory. It's a great film which really sets you in the 80s. If you like 80s music, if you like the 80s, just everything about the 80s, watch The Business. I don't think you're going to not enjoy it. I mean, it is what it is. Oh, here we go. So, here we have 2 films of the same name. One of them I love, one of them is Dog Do. Okay, this is the Eli Roth directorial debut, Cabin Fever, in a gorgeous steelbook. Look at that. That is bloody amazing, isn't it? It's the unrated director's cut. There's not a lot of difference, to be fair, between that and the theatrical. I didn't notice a load of difference there, but that is a lovely steelbook. This is the remake. And you may ask, why are they remaking a film which is only about 13 years old? Well, when this came out, I think Cabin Fever is 17 years old now. But and the answer is I don't know. I mean, Cabin Fever, it's a bit of a cult classic anyway. It's not loved by everyone. So why they remade it, I don't know. Don't watch this. I picked this up for 50p just to see why they'd done it. And it's just rubbish. It's just absolute rubbish. Cabin Fever. Watch the original, don't watch the remake. Here's one I also picked up for 50p. Cabin Fever 3, Patient Zero. Not watched it yet. I have watched Cabin Fever 2, which is horrible. Just, it's grimy. It's horrible. I don't want to own that. This one has Samwise Gamgee in it. From Lord of the Rings. That's all I really know about it. You would have noticed by now, I have a very strange collection. Cabin in the Woods. I love this film. I love the first 45 minutes, an hour, which is just a straight Cabin in the Woods film, which it's taking the mick out of. And I love the last half hour. Wow. Blew my brains away when I first saw it. This is fantastic. Anything involving Joshua Whedon usually is, isn't it? Candyman. I think it's just had a new release from Arrow actually, but this is just a DVD now. As you may notice, absolutely beautiful slip on that. But unfortunately, it's just the original release. a collector's edition, but there's not a lot of collector edition about it. But it does have a lovely cover, which makes up for that. But Candyman, it's a great film, isn't it? I bought this one. I don't know why, really. It incredibly harrowing. Cannibal Holocaust. I'm sure you've probably heard about it. It's quite famous for being quite an extreme film. I mean, it's controversial. You do have some actual animal killing in that one. I mean, which in the 80s wasn't actually that rare. But the way it's done is actually a lot better than you thought. Not the animal killing, of course, but the actual film. The way it's done is actually very well. It's very good. It's one actually. Well, this is a first found footage film, if you like. This is found footage, done in a really clever way, and you know, it is what it is. If you're not into gore, don't watch this. But there's a lot more to it than you think. Okay, Captain America, the Winter Soldier.
Love it.
Great film. Where's Captain America?
First Avenger. No clue.
Never mind. This is Captain America Civil War. I do have Captain America.
It's a great film as well.
Yeah. It's somewhere in here. It'll probably pop up. Very professional. Captain America Civil War. Love it. Lovely to live on that one. Carrie. The original. Not the... I think it was... They did one remake in the 80s and another one recently which was rubbish. This is the original and the best. Casino with Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Sharon Stone. Fantastic film. If you like Goodfellas, Scarface, you're going to enjoy that. Ooh. Casino Royale. Very successful James Bond reboot. I love Casino Royale, it's fantastic. I think the only thing it's missing is a good car chase. Chasing Amy, Kevin Smith. I have all of Kevin Smith's film, I think. So you'll see a lot of them. But yeah, Chasing Amy. Great film. Child's Play, the first one. They're remaking that this year. Why? Child's Play 2. Child's Play 3.
And then isn't it The Bride?
Bride of Chucky.
And
Seed of Chucky. Oh, Seed of Chucky. That's rubbish. But, you know, in this double edition, you get Bride of Chucky, but let's be fair, it's the best one out of those two, because Seed of Chucky's rubbish. And then, Curse of Chucky, which, after Seed, they went back to its horror roots, and this is great. And the most recent one, Cult of Chucky, which is almost as good as Curse of Chucky. And the real shame is these two films were taking the Chucky franchise in a great direction, and now they're remaking it. Why? Why? One of my favourite DVDs in the collection, Clerks, and this is the 10th anniversary edition. I'll just quickly show you this. This is a lovely collection. Look at that. Kevin Smith, directorial debut, and well, he built a universe out of it. Let's not forget that Kevin Smith is the first person to do a cinematic universe, not Marvel. And then Clerks 2, obviously. I really enjoy this. It's not as good as Clerks, but if you love the characters, which I do, by the end you'll have a little teardrop rolling down your face, and not just from laughter. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Steven Spielberg, A Masterpiece is Empire, and Empire is Correct. Cloverfield, I really enjoy this one. Found footage monster film. Made people sick in the cinema. It's a shame. Has 2 sequels. I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the Netflix one. I don't really want to. Collateral. Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx. fantastic Michael Mann film. Crash in cellophane. I haven't watched that yet. I was told to get it the year it came out. I didn't. I got it about 4 years later. Did win a couple of Oscars, but then I heard really bad things about it, and since then I haven't watched it. But I'm sure I'll get back to it. And finally, in this section, The Crow. Obviously famous for all the wrong reasons, with the actor dying on set. But this is a fantastic film, The Crow. This is a 2-disc collector's edition. Okay. Oh. Okay, you may notice a strange cut there. That's because I found it. I dropped it down the back. I was getting wrongly concerned. So if you notice my worried face in the last 5 minutes, I thought I'd lost the DVD. I hadn't. It's Captain America: The First Avenger. And while I did that, I thought best to show you also my A to C box sets. It wouldn't make sense to do them separately. And I'm sure I'll get questions in the comments asking me, where's this, where's this, where's this? Well, here we go then. This is the Amityville Horror double feature box set, which contains both the original Amityville Horror and the crappy remake with Ryan Reynolds, which I actually enjoyed when it came out, but then I watch it again and you're like, oh, this is rubbish. Bad Boys, what are you going to do? You're going to buy both DVDs, obviously. That's Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2. I mean, you can say what you like, they're great films. And there's a sequel coming out this year, or maybe next year. Can't wait. Okay, the Batman motion picture anthology from 1989 to 1997, so this is before the Dark Knight trilogy. So you have the fantastic Batman and Batman Returns. I still think that the first Batman is probably my favourite Batman film out of all of them. I can still watch that one today. Yes, it's really aged thanks to its Prince soundtrack and a few other elements, but I just love it, and I love Michael Keaton in the role. And Batman Returns is nearly as good. And then we get onto these two. It's Batman Forever, which is eminently watchable, and Batman and Robin, which isn't. Blackadder, the complete collection. You know, look at that. Look at that box set. It looks like a book. It's a book set. And I put this one. This probably should have been in the D's, shouldn't it? For those people who are going to quibble. But this is the Dark Knight trilogy, so it's Batman, isn't it? I mean, you don't need me to tell you anything about this. You'll notice I did have these on. This is one of the ones I did upgrade from DVD to Blu-ray, just because you get the IMAX versions of this, which really expands the pictures in some of the scenes, which is really cool. But I did get this from a second-hand store. You will notice the case is a bit rubbish, but the actual internals are still in really good nick. It's a lovely set actually, and it comes with a little book. Always nice. Those who like to read. And finally, in A to C, put that back together in a minute, is the Cube box set. Cube box set. How ironic. I know that's not a correct use of the word ironic. This contains the Cube, which is fantastic. And to be fair, just thinking about it now, it's basically about a cube, and every cube within the cube has a trap in it. I wonder, a precursor to Saw? Never thought of it like that before, but I think so in some ways. Cube 2 Hypercube, which is actually really cool. Some of the CGI dates it a bit, but it didn't have the biggest budget in the world, so that's probably why. And then Cube 0, the rubbish prequel. And that is it for today. So that is A to C in my DVD Blu-ray collection. Please comment on what you think of what you've seen so far. There'll be some slightly strange editing in this because my teenage son had a cough. So if you do notice some slight jutters, that is why. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, share and comment, and obviously subscribe to Qualidus Humulus Media, and look out for our 3 Minute Movie podcasts in the future. I will hopefully be doing D through F in the very near future. See you later.